This is RadioOnFire.com. Yours truly, Dominic K, in here alongside my father. How you doing, Dad?
Yes, sir. Fine. Glad to be here.
Me too.
Yeah.
A lot of things that's going on in the world,
man.
And it's just so many things. Could you pass me that paper, please? I do need to say this, though. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Flywire's 2018 White Tie Affair. This VIP red carpet gala will take place in one of Baltimore's most beloved landmarks, Druid Hill Park, Sunday, June 10th, 5 to 10 p.m. at the Parks Mansion House lawn. So we're going to be out front, but they're going to, spruce it up. I think all the rocks are going to be gone by then, for the record. But it's not in that area. This is where the mansion is. So for more information, visit RadioOnFire.com or Facebook.com/the-Flywire. All right, so we got that out of the way. Where do you want to start?
Hey, let's talk about a young man that was a hero, James Shaw.
And here's the thing about heroes. People throw the word hero around just like it is nothing.
Right.
This guy is a legit hero.
Mm. That is. Because he took that gun from that maniac.
Yeah.
And threw it over the counter. He said he knew that if I don't do something right now, this man's going to kill me. This guy's going to shoot me. That's a frightening feeling.
Yeah, and he likened it to someone if you've ever felt like you were drowning, and he said, that adrenaline rush you get to try to tread water and just try to get out of there. So he said when he grabbed the barrel of the gun from the guy, and it was still hot. A lot of people don't think about that. When you fire a gun, it's like a hot stove almost. The metal and then the impact of the projectile coming out and the shot that it takes to project the projectile. You don't even think about. He said he had callus on his hand or whatever. And so that was.
And the funny thing about it is that we had that school shooting here in Maryland where the guy shot two people, the girl and the guy.
Yeah.
And then they initially started saying that the police officer shot him. He was the hero, and it came out he didn't shoot him. The boy shot himself.
But that's how we were trying to say it initially.
Yeah. He committed suicide. This guy here was a hero. So
this is, they frequently talk about heroes, like we were saying. This guy was unarmed and disarmed this guy who was armed. That's a hero. He's just a regular civilian.
Right. He was unarmed and he was hungry.
Right.
Came in there to get something to eat.
Right. So
I got to fight for my life
in Tennessee. And so I first saw this story, if you remember my friend Reggie.
Yeah. Yes, that's what
he told me about the story first because he's in Tennessee.
Right.
You know what I mean? And this is coming up a very, very good friend of mine. And we would be best friends if he didn't live in Tennessee. I guess that shouldn't separate things. Never mind. It's all my fault. But anyway, so he's in Tennessee, and he said you can't even go to the Waffle House to get some breakfast without some stuff jumping off. I love the Waffle House. In Atlanta, that's when I first, when I was living in Atlanta, is when I first even witnessed and saw any Waffle House. There are some here, but deep Maryland, southern Maryland somewhere. But I love the Waffle House, and I can't imagine something like this happening because they're not big,
tight.
Yeah, it's not that much bigger than the studio that we're in. Both rooms, it's not that much bigger than it. It may be like that.
Yeah, might be smaller.
Yeah, and I can't imagine.
So hey.
So he's a real life. You remember the scene in Coming to America when Samuel Jackson comes in with the shotgun and tries to rob the place, and Eddie Murphy's character is mopping up and uses Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall disarm him. You don't remember that scene?
No, but wait a minute. I'm getting ready to say to you, you are mistaken.
No, I'm not.
But that's
Samuel Jackson. But this is early.
Oh my God! Yeah,
that's Samuel Jackson.
Yeah,
and it took both of them to disarm him.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you remember the scene? You remember the scene, right?
In the
In the McDowell's. Yeah, but they you know, that was the real life version of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But after that, so and then on top of that, the guy's naked. Mm-hmm. The killer naked. Mm. And he's killed some people
outside. Yeah.
And so the hero said that the guy needed to reload. Mm-hmm. And you know, he took that as the opportunity to jump in there. I mean, I guess you never know what you're going to do in those situations. Mm-hmm. But when it's life or death and you feel cornered, that's the most dangerous that you can be, and you get that superhuman strength, just like say in a fire or something. If you need to move something, get something out of the way, you get that strength.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about the guys that got arrested at Starbucks?
The in Philly, you talking about?
Yes.
It's a sad situation because these are successful professional guys, but they're just it's dressed down. We're just here for a meeting. They're trying to talk about some real estate. I've been that person so many times, not going to meet about real estate, but I've gone to meet people places, and I'm not ready to order yet because they're not there, as you have a number of times, I'm sure. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So you're waiting for you don't want to eat now. I'm here for a meeting, so I'm going to wait. So maybe you're going to sit down, and you may sit in your car, or you may come inside, and some people may sit inside. So I'm just saying, I've been where they're sitting. I've been that guy. Mm-hmm. And if I ask to use the bathroom and they give me some hassle because I haven't bought anything, if I'm getting ready to buy, if I feel like I'm going to buy something, I would have had a bit of an attitude. Mm-hmm. Because I have not bought anything yet, but I'm going to buy something. And here's the real issue I have. Starbucks, Panera Bread, these type of places, their business model is built on people hanging around. You want to hang around, you got business to do, come here in our establishment because we feel eventually you're going to want a coffee, a tea, a Danish, or something, and we have internet here for you to use. That's their business model. I've seen people, as I'm sure you have, I've seen people conduct interviews for jobs for other places in those type of places, in Starbucks or Panera Bread or, whatever coffee shop. I've seen people do that. So the fact that the manager felt that these guys couldn't do what I'm sure the manager has seen many white clients, customers, many Asian customers, many Spanish customers do over and over, and other black customers do over and over again. They prejudged them by the way they were dressed and just assumed that they were just loitering and not going to. I don't know. It's just very frustrating. It could have happened to anybody. The guys didn't do anything wrong. I don't think they should have had to leave because we're going to consume something later. I mean,
leave. Yeah. They was arrested,
right? I don't think. No, but I'm assuming that
when she was telling them to get out.
Before the police were called, I'm sure that the report said that they wanted them to leave. They said they wasn't going to leave, which is what prompted them to call the police. And then the police come, and I'm still not going to leave because there was no reason for them to leave. And then so the police arrested them, I suppose, on some type of loitering, and the chief tried to say that the officers didn't do anything wrong. Mm-hmm. This isn't on us. I mean, it's a bad situation, but I have my own issues with it. Additionally, I want to get to, but what do you think? Did Starbucks handle it correctly?
Well, I think. Well, what I want to say about it is that, law enforcement, as I said before on the shows before, that the police were in America were here to keep the slaves in order, keep them in check, and this is the prime example. And she called them and said, "Get them. We got some. Just like we got some runaways. I mean, So we are so disrespected in this country that we don't know it. How disrespected we are. I didn't know it until I left America and I saw how I was in Europe and Asia and Africa and how you're treated so much differently. You're treated like a human. And you come back here and you realize, wow, this is totally disrespected. So yeah, they, I mean, the whole situation is deplorable. It's disgusting. And what we have to do as a people, and I've told you guys this all life, you've got to go to places where they respect you and they respect your money. Your money is your power. And if you just, you can't just beg people to take your money. You need to go where you're treated well and you're respected. I don't care if it is convenient to go to this popular location or this popular location. You've got to have respect for yourself, or nobody else. They're not gonna respect you.
Right.
They don't respect you because they know that you want to be with me. Whatever I invent, you want it.
Yeah, and that's the issue that I have. And so Kevin Hart got a lot of flack for saying that he didn't think that this situation was worth boycotting over. And Kevin Hart said, and I understand his perspective, but if you look at it deeper, it's deeper than what he said. But on surface, he said this is a situation that happened because the manager said this, and that we should wait to see this is the day of. We should wait to see what Starbucks does before we make the decision as to hold Starbucks accountable or just that manager of that store.
Well, I don't look at it that way at all. I look at it this way, that I'm not talking about boycotting Starbucks. You need to get in the habit of doing business with yourself, period.
Yes.
You know, it's not just Starbucks. All of these people are the same. The store down the street don't respect you any more than Starbucks or anybody else. I mean, they don't. They have no respect for you. And I think that you have to consciously decide to do business with people who respect you and people who look like you. I mean, there's no, believe me, there's no Mexican or Asian are gonna come to a black establishment and get thrown out and put in jail, and then decide I'm going to come back or I'm not going to come back. I mean, they're not coming anyway because right. they're going to patronize their own people.
Right.
And so it's not just boycotting them as a group. It's having in your mind as an individual, I'm going to give my money to this particular store. I'm going to give my money to this particular store. This kind of guy, he's going to give me his business. I'm going to give him my business.
Right.
When I want to get a painter, and because it's more than just I want to have my house painted. I'm not just going to get on Yellow Pages and here's Jiffy Lube painting. You know, some white. I mean, look for somebody who looks like you to give them that business.
Right.
I need a contractor. Look for somebody who looks like you. You don't just go on the Yellow Pages and get any by Joe. They're not going to select you to do any business.
Devil's advocate, and I agree with what you're saying 100%. What about the people that say that you're being tribal and with that type of philosophy, and you're supposed to think, you know, some people just feel as though we shouldn't think like that.
I know it, and I've been trying to fight that all my life. But I told you before, in China, this is in 1992, they said the 21st century belongs to Asia. I said, wow. They said they don't belong to black folks, white folks, Asia. So you can't join that gang. That's their gang. That's tribal. That's true. That's theirs. And it does. And they're proving it to be correct.
That's who we owe all the money to.
Right. Exactly. Well, and they are brokering this deal with the United States with North Korea.
True.
It's China's doing that. They taking the lead. And so it's just like when you are in an airplane. The first thing they tell you if the plane's going down, you can have a child, anybody, get that mask to cover yourself. You got to protect yourself first. How can I look out for you if I can't look out I got to look out for myself first. So I got to look out for my tribe. You're right. It is tribal. I got to look out for my gang, my tribe first. then I can look out for yours.
But the problem that we're facing is not, and it's not the problem. Asians don't have this issue. Spanish people don't have this issue. Mexican people don't have this issue. I don't even think white people have this issue. The issue that we have is we are so we so envy everybody else's stuff that we don't want.
Yeah,
you know, we want over there. We right. this one.
And let me tell you this: everybody in the world, when I say everybody, I mean every ethnicity knows that we, as black people in this world, we are the original people. And we have the Midas touch. Everybody, whatever we touch turns to gold. They didn't want us to play baseball because they knew we would take it over. That's why they're jealous. Do you see what a black man's body looks like? Those muscles? These people see it. They're jealous. We got the Midas touch. We go into the entertainment field. We dominate. Politics. We dominate. Everything we do, science, we dominate. Whatever we put our mind to do, and everybody knows it. Fashion, music, everything we do, we dominate. And everybody in the world knows it, but we don't know it. And it is what I hate to go back to the 60s, but you've been bamboozled, you've been flim-flammed, thinking the wrong way. You are the man. And we're catching all this. They're shooting us, beating us, and black men are on their knees. If we stand up, it's gonna be just like Martin Luther King said. He said, "It's gonna be some difficult days ahead. It's gonna get even rougher." But we got to stand up.
Right.
I'd rather stand up fighting for my people than to live and end up dying from cancer. I mean, we're all gonna leave, but we've got to stand up and be men. I'm not saying you have to take care of your community. Protect your spouse, your family, and raise your children, and be strong people. Because we are. Everybody envies us, and we keep trying to follow them, and that's why we get tricked. We get tricked.
Yeah. So Starbucks, the manager was not fired. No. They were transferred somewhere else for their safety, more than likely. But Starbucks is I guess they think that they have a solution. And I guess it's this week. This week,
the 29th.
29th? So they're going to do what on the 29th?
We're supposed to close all the stores and have a meeting to show them how to talk to people and to deal with people. But, he's been catching a lot of flack from his white people talking about him. What are you doing this all this for a mistake, But I'm not saying that you need to boycott Starbucks. You need to consciously give business to your own people in everything you do. Painting, everything. You need paint done. You need a new car. You just go any Tom, Dick, and Harry. How you doing? Can I help you? You look for somebody who look like you. Give them that business. They work on commission. So I mean, this is and it's a shame to have to say it because we're supposed to know it. It's supposed to be in your blood. Yeah. I was manufacturing, and in the 1980s, underwear. I was making it in Jamaica, selling it at Sears and Kmart's, Zayres. Some of those stores don't even exist anymore. But here's my point. I went to the NAACP, and I said, "Listen, if we get behind these underwear, we can dominate the underwear market. That's just one market. We control. We got to control something. We can control that market." That was so far over their heads. It was what you just said. Why would we want to do business just because you're a black company?
People say that. Like I've had that conversation with people, and it's amazed me that they say, "Why should I just do business with you just because you're black?" In reference, not me specifically,
right?
And I'm just shocked. Like, what do you mean?
I want people after the day go and look at an Asian. Every time you see an Asian, look and see what kind of car they're in. They're going to be in a Toyota, a Honda. They're going to be in a Japanese car. They're going to be in an Asian car. They're going to be because they give their business to themselves. Down to everything, and so that's serious. But a lot of those industries
we don't have a footprint in.
Yes. Yes.
Like the auto industry, we don't have
Right.
a footprint in there.
Right.
But there's so many industries that we do that we use on a regular basis.
Right.
That can't, because they'll come whatever we don't have the footprint in and say, well, we don't have. What about this? What about that? But there's so many that we do have a footprint.
Right.
in
But what about the ones
that you can?
Right. You can. Right.
Right.
Right. Right.
So that's important. I don't, as you know, drink coffee, so I don't frequent Starbucks. I know a lot of people that do.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't understand when we're going to stop looking at these companies to do us any favors anyway.
Right. Right.
All of these companies, like you said,
Right.
none of them are going to do us any favors.
Right.
For so long, they felt like they didn't have to take our money.
Right.
Now they'll take it, but they're not, like you used to say, you're going to do this and you're going to be happy while you're doing it. You're going to,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Right.
Not just go through the motions, but because in the household, I'm talking
Right.
about,
Right.
and they don't even act like they want our money. It's just like,
Right.
okay, fine, this is the law. Okay, fine. Yeah. That kind of stuff.
But that's how they feel. I mean,
Right.
think about back in the 30s and the 20s when the segregation was at its zenith. They hated you so much, they didn't even want your money. And you know how greedy these people are for money. I don't even want your money. But we talk about racism, and I think it's more jealousy than racism. I mean, Trump is jealous of President Obama because who he is, his character,
Yes.
his family, his everything. He is everything that America would want to be.
Talking about Trump.
Obama.
Oh, okay.
Obama. His family. He was president. I mean, this guy he's smooth. I mean, he's everything Trump would love to be. And it's not because he's black. He's jealous. They look at you.
Athletic.
Yeah, they look at those athletes. They don't hate you because you dunked. They jealous of you. If they had a white Muhammad Ali back in the day, he would have been a god.
He'd have a holiday.
Yeah, holiday.
Yeah.
I mean, they never had a.
That's why they love Babe Ruth so much.
Right, and they keep plugging him. You know what I mean? Because that's all.
That's all they got. And Marciano.
And you look at these football players, their bodies. They won't talk about it, but they say, "Wow." I mean, these are like gods.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We are
LeBron James.
Yeah, they dunking that ball, and I mean, these people they don't tell you. They say, "Shh, don't tell them." Wow, look at that. Have you? I don't want to be stereotypical, but they love chocolate. Okay, white women love chocolate. White men, they love chocolate.
That's a good segue to Jack Johnson.
Yeah.
So Trump is a show I don't think can go by that we don't mention him in some way, shape, or form. So Trump is talking about considering, because Sylvester Stallone brought it to his attention about Jack Johnson. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on that? You love Jack Johnson.
Yeah. Well, he, he's just trying to send signals to his people to let them know that if I can pardon and I can Jack Johnson, I can pardon you. You know what I mean? Come on.
He's already sent those signals.
Yeah, but he's continuously doing it. You know what I mean? Continuously. Yeah. That's what that's all about. He ain't thinking about no Jack. He probably never heard of Jack Johnson. He didn't know who
Jack Johnson was. I'm sure. That's why he said Sylvester Stallone had to bring it to his attention.
Right, and then he's doing it also with Jack Johnson because Barack Obama didn't, because they brought it to Barack Obama and he didn't, and the reason that he
couldn't.
Well, he could have, but he said that the reason I didn't, because it's a long process and it would take away from doing pardons, because he did. But I don't know if people know, he did over 2,000 pardons. He did more pardons
before he left. Yeah,
he did more pardons than any president has ever done.
Yeah.
But he said, I want to do it to the living, the people that can benefit from these people that's in jail. There's not symbolic, but I need to get the ones that
we had a guy on the show that President Obama pardoned.
Oh wow!
He carries the letter around. was powerful episode.
Why?
So he has the letter.
That fills me with emotion just hearing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right. So he just concentrated on pardoning people that are alive that they could benefit from being pardoned.
And that makes sense.
So Trump. And that's why Trump said, "Well, Obama could have pardoned him, but I'm doing it instead." And so that's why we have to be educated
symbolic.
and know what's going on.
It's just a symbolic thing.
Mm-hmm.
But so speaking of Trump, the Republicans frequently talk about they have all of these nominees that they haven't approved yet, and they got all these cabinet picks sitting, just jobs sitting around, and
a lot of them unqualified people.
That's what it is. They're unqualified, and two nominations that are sitting out there. Really, there's three, but there's two. One is the most, if it's not the most important agency, it's the second most important agency, which is or largest, which is the VA. It's just like it's no thought process. Sees you're a doctor. Okay, why don't we just make you head of the VA?
And then this guy, he says that he's going to be loyal to me because I gave him this big job, so he'll do anything. He'll do what I tell him to do. And the budget for the VA is $200 billion budget. This guy he doesn't have
hundreds of thousands of people.
He's not,
They said I think he's the most that he's been in charge of is 50 people. I think 40 or 50 people. Loosely. It's not like directly like right there. So it's just it's a.
And then I guess he says, "Well, I don't talk about experience because I ain't had no experience." So
look what that got us.
So
yeah, And then the thing about it is that this guy just gets on TV and lies about Trump's health. If he, it's just he said, this is what really stuck out my mind. Dr. Jackson said if Trump ate a little bit better, he could live to be 200. Said it with a straight face, like he's being serious, like he wasn't joking. And then said that the president weighed 239 pounds.
That's why he gave him that job. And
I weigh myself today, and I weigh, based on the scale, 238 pounds. There's no way that me and Trump are the same weight. They have photos of him. There's no way. I know what 240 pounds looks like, and it's not Trump.
Right.
So do you think that Jackson is going to get approved for this VA position?
No, I don't think he will, and I don't think he will because he's got some skeletons in his closet. They talked about over prescription drugs, prescriptions that he's written to people, and they talked about something about an abusiveness with alcohol, and so I don't think he's gonna make it.
I mean, he's coming to work drunk, and they didn't do any vetting. You didn't do any vetting whatsoever.
I'm gonna tell you what made him know that he was going to give him the job in the VA when he went up there and lied and said, "I weigh 239. He's the best health. No president in life has been healthy to him." He said, "That's my man."
And it sounded like something that Hitler would want.
Yes.
He has the best. He has the best genes ever in the history of genes. What are you talking about? Who talks like this?
Right. Exactly.
And. It's amazing. A lot of the stuff I didn't think about with other presidents. You didn't think about the physician of the president. You know what I mean? It's just like, I guess you figured there was one, but they weren't doing press conferences. It was just some behind the scenes stuff. With George Bush, we didn't know about his position. It wasn't a big deal. You know what I mean? President Obama, I remember when they got their physicals, it was a 1-day news cycle thing and it was done. But everything with him is just so theatrical. So theatrical. Mike Pompeo, who I don't like.
Yeah.
Well, you think he's going to be Secretary of State?
Yeah, he got through. He's going to make it.
And Rand Paul, Rand Paul.
Mm-hmm. He's an
idiot.
He flipped it.
He lied. It's like Charlie Brown in the football, Lucy with the football. Every time he says, "Oh no, I'm not doing this. I'm not going to vote," and he has a conversation with Trump, and the next thing you know, he does it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because he said, such and such company is talking about investing some money into over here. I can get them to give me that money, and that's,
that'd be a lot of jobs for your constituents. Jobs,
even though you're not running again next year, because yeah.
But and so Mike Pompeo is going to move to Secretary of State, which is crazy. And so in his place, the lady that they want to put right here, she's getting a lot of flack because she was involved
in the water board, and she approved it and went along. I mean,
but that's what it was. That's what they did. So if she didn't do it, she would have been court-martialed or something like that.
She'd have been out of job.
She got some enemies somewhere. Mm-hmm. That must be because that was the law. That's what they did.
That's under the Bush administration. Mm-hmm.
That's true. Mm-hmm. And they tried to linken Bush to him, saying that he pardoned some people to quash some investigations and stuff like that. They feel like Trump should be able to do that.
What about Michael Cohen? What do you?
Well, I think that I tell you what. I'm sure that Hannity, who I really don't like, I'm sure that if he could, if you could have that one back to pick again, he would probably pick differently, because this whole scandal is going to hurt Cohen and it's going to hurt Sean Hannity. Mm-hmm. But I think it's going to hurt Trump indirectly, mm-hmm. because I don't think that they're going to have a situation that Cohen can walk away from and just, I think that he's going to cooperate. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He knows some things. So hopefully for him, he doesn't turn up with an accident or something. Mm-hmm. Because I can't,
Well, I mean, if he only had 3 clients and they got all these boxes of, who's on those? 3 clients? It's got to be filled with Trump.
Didn't he have a taxi cab
business? Yeah.
A lot of paperwork.
Yeah. And they took his cell phone. And,
all his electronic devices. Mm-hmm. And so that's there's something there. And Trump was angry about that. So I don't know.
He was angrily scared, but he's calmed down now. So they might know that. I don't know. And here's the point that people gotta understand. Here's the point. This is very important. They keep talking about, is Michael going to flip? Flip. That means I did something wrong. That means he got something to say that I don't want y'all to hear.
That's obvious because he knows his secrets.
Yeah.
So if you're talking about Donald Trump, right. So flipping would mean that he could just the stuff that we know. So the stuff that he said as far as Stormy Daniels, he didn't know about the payments. He could say that he did know about the payments per this conversation and per this conversation. And so not even talking about the stuff we don't know about. Let's just talk about the situations that we are aware of. He could have lied about not being aware there. The Russian, the dossier stuff. Clearly, he lied about staying the night in Russia, which he clearly did, mm-hmm. stay the night, mm-hmm. and something in an attempt to cover up his stays or something like that. The situation on the plane, writing the response for his son, all mm-hmm. the different mm-hmm. types of things he's liable. Just the scenarios that we know about.
Right.
But there's no telling the stuff we don't even know about.
Right. Exactly. And they got recordings. They say the guy likes to record his conversations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so
we didn't vet the president.
No.
The president, if the president would not be able to get approved for any job.
And they gave a man a job as the president and he changed the tax codes, and he would not show you his taxes because he says you wouldn't like them.
Right. They wouldn't.
So I'm not going to show them to you. And you trusted him to deal with this. I mean, this is the most insane logic.
There's no logic.
Yeah.
There's no logic. And the thing about it is that we have seen everything is unraveling. Trump, during the time of his company bankruptcies, manipulated the Forbes list, manipulated his way on the Forbes list to inflate his income, to then use his placement on the Forbes list to borrow money from banks and other people with money to fund his lifestyle and other businesses.
Exactly, that's what he did. And he did that successfully for about 20 years until the bank stopped doing. He said, like Richard Pryor, no more.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And then he had to go overseas, and he is.
He's used all of that deceit to act like he's more successful than he was, and that he would be a successful president because he's managed this. I guess he has like over 500 businesses, patents, whatever it is, businesses. You know what I mean? That he's deceitfully obtained, and he tries to say, "I made that." $1 million that he got from his father.
And the guy who said brought those tapes out, the journalist. He said that he was trying to convince them that he was worth $100 million back then, and they said now they really think he was probably worth about $5 million.
Right.
It's
still a lot. Yeah, it's still a lot. Well, I think Barry Gordy was worth more than that, but yeah. So it's just it's the whole thing is coming down.
And then and I hate to keep diverting back to race all the time because that's what it is. But
you know what you told me one time, because I remember saying something to you about that before, and you know what you said to me about that? I said, why you was talking about race all the time? You said, son, everything is race.
Yeah,
and that's the same right inflection.
Right. The country was founded.
Everything is race. So, but you see, going back to it. So go ahead, back to it. It's true.
You can tell I'm getting old because the point that I wanted to get to.
No, you said you keep going back to race, but what?
I know it, but I don't remember.
It's gonna come back. It's gonna come back. It's gonna come back.
That's what happens when you get old.
It's gonna come back to you. Yeah. So, Nikki Haley.
I'm the first to tell you she's gonna run for president.
When? What year?
2020? If not 2020, 2024.
So what about Nikki Haley and Pence? Oh no, she's the head dog.
Yeah.
Oh, she don't need him.
No, I think run for president.
Okay, yeah.
And her thing would be, and her slogan would be, "I don't get confused."
Oh, it's definitely gonna be that.
I don't get confused. And they backtracked. They apologized and said that they made a mistake.
I don't agree with her policies. I respect the fact that she stood up and she did not. She has more balls than Jeff Sessions.
Well, now let me tell you another thing about her. When we had the problem when in South Carolina several years ago when that maniac came into the church and killed.
Oh yeah.
She was the governor of North Carolina, and she's the one that took those plaques and those down.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, took the monuments down. Yeah, she's the one that did that, and she was Republican, and she took those monuments. She stood up to those hillbillies and took it down.
And they weren't happy about that. How do you feel about that? The monuments.
I don't have a lot of feeling about it, but I mean,
Does it bother you
that they're up?
Yeah,
not really, but I can see why you need to take them down, but I don't. I got more issues that I want to deal with
that are more important now.
Yeah.
So, Mom turned me on to this show called Designated Survivor. Have you ever seen it? Mm-hmm. So it's Kiefer Sutherland, and he's the president. And there was an episode about, the shows frequently will mirror some stuff that's happening there. So there was an episode, and they wanted to take down a monument, racist monument, same thing that we were dealing with. And they had I can't think of the actor's name, but it's a black actor, and he was playing a reverend in DC, and he was for the monument. He did not want the monuments taken down. And I was like, what in the world? So I didn't understand his position, and so he's arguing, and so some of the white politicians wanted to take the monument down, and he was on the side of the people that clearly were racist, but he wanted to keep the monument up. And when I listened to his explanation as to why, I got it. It made sense. So he said that he wanted the monuments to stay up because he said people like me are getting old, and we're going to be gone, and we're not going to be around to remind people of what we went through. So if you let them take the monuments down, and take down all of these racist images, you're not going to have that. Eventually, that recollection of it is going to be gone, and you're not going to understand why we have to fight. And so he was using the symbolism of the monument as something to motivate him to continue the fight.
Now, he can go to Starbucks.
If he needs some motivation,
he can look at the newspaper and see the boy getting shot because he got a cell phone in his grandmother's backyard. Some cigarettes in New York. I'm selling some cigarettes, and I get strangled to death. You don't need the monuments to tell you.
That's true.
No, I don't agree with that. But I understand, how they just
maybe back in the day you might have that was helpful for you, but like you said, there's plenty representations, current live representations
every day. Just a girl at the Waffle House in Alabama got taken down by the police the other day.
Yeah,
breast got all exposed.
Treated with no respect.
None. No respect. None. When the last time have you seen a white policeman, 2 of them, 3 of them, throw a white woman down and start beating her?
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Put her in handcuffs.
I don't think I've ever seen that. Yeah. Have you? Did you can recall? Maybe in the 60s, maybe the Vietnam movement, maybe.
Well,
maybe. No. The hippies.
Not recently.
Woodstock.
So, it's the people in Georgia who attacked those soldiers, those 2 female soldiers, and they arrested the lady and her son, and they said the only reason they arrested them because they had on video. They said 10 people told the police when they came what they did
before they had the video.
Right, but that didn't. They weren't going to arrest them. Not until they saw the video. And I had a friend, just to divert, back in the 70s, came from Nigeria. He had a good friend of his from Missouri that was helping him buy a home here.
A white guy?
A white guy. Yeah, a white guy. And my associate, Alahaji, he saw a building that he wanted to buy. And an older white woman owned the building. And he told his friend, his white friend, he said, offer her $20,000 cash for that building. And he wouldn't. He said, that building is worth more than $20,000. I'm not gonna do that, And Alahaji could not understand whose friend are you? And then he came and told me what happened. And I said, that's his sister. She's white, he's white. Uncle, you could be his friend, but that's his sister, and he didn't want you to exploit and take advantage and get a good deal off of his sister. So I went with him, and we got that building for $22,000 cash. $22,000. But what I'm saying is that was his sister, and color, and we are, believe me, we've got the Midas touch. And we got it. We got it. And so we just have to understand it and accept it, who we are. Everybody else knows who we are. That's why they scared. They scared of us. So, man, yeah.
Yeah, it's powerful. It's 100% true. But we didn't touch on it yet with Scott Pruitt in the EPA. What do you think about that? Is he gonna get rid of him?
I think so.
Because they fire. This is a cliche, but it's true. They fire people for much less than the stuff he's done,
right,
or been accused of doing it.
Right.
It's just a hassle. It's just you know what I mean. It could have been. Maybe it could have even been your son, and at a certain point, you're going to be like, look, man, we're going to put you somewhere else. This is getting too much attention. Let's take you out of this EPA and just put you over here. It's something. Yeah. It's a hassle.
Right. And and his problem is that he's creating so many enemies because he's so arrogant. Yeah. And he's blatant with his using and spending money. Ben Carson, they're going to keep not Ben Carson, but Ben Carson. He's not going to let him. He's going to keep him because he got to have at least
token
one, yeah. And
so they got rid of the other token.
Who, the girl?
Yeah. But the thing about Scott Pruitt from the EPA, if y'all don't, Environmental Protection Agency, this is supposed to be the people that dealing with pollution and the air quality and all that kind of stuff.
Water.
Water. They get this guy, and he is completely against the whole structure of the EPA.
Right.
Just imagine putting somebody in charge of meat who is a vegetarian and hates meat.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's just
perfect example.
That's what it is.
Perfect example.
And what I think, I don't have any evidence, but what I think with Scott Pruitt, and like you talked about his arrogance, I think he is backed by some kind of big funder for Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And
probably right. Yeah.
So does he come in like, they can't touch me? You know what I mean? I need a bulletproof desk. I need this. He has a bigger just as much detail as the president has.
Right.
He's just the EPA guy.
Right. And he was renting that
right for $50
apartment for $50.
And he wasn't even paying it.
Right.
That's he's got somebody. It's just like if you
maybe they don't. We need to tell him what he was renting. He was renting an apartment in DC.
Yes, he's renting an apartment in DC. Okay, I don't know if I told you this. I almost moved to DC in 2004 when I went to Atlanta.
First time I've heard this, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. So I had on a piece of paper. I said I'm either going to go to Philly, DC, or Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and so in 2004, so I felt like I needed to leave Baltimore. So I said, Philly, that's just like Baltimore. It's too dirty. I might as well stay here. So I crossed Philly off. And I said, DC. DC is close. And I said, I can still see my family because I'm only going to be 45 minutes away. $295, not on a Friday, right, but most days, 45 minutes away. So I started checking the prices of houses in DC. Yeah. And I said, no, this is great. I might as well move to New York. Right, you know what I mean? Right, so I just said all that to say how high the cost of living is in DC.
Yes.
To find something, you can't find anything in Baltimore. You can't even find, even in Westport, even in Cherry Hill, even in Murphy Homes when they had the high rise. I don't think you could find something for $50.
Yeah.
50.
Yeah. Right.
Only thing I can think of is those $50. I think that on good times, their house was like 35, right? But that was in the 60s. Right. And that was the projects.
Right.
This guy is being charged $50 from somebody who's doing business in front of the agency.
Right. $50. Yeah. In fact,
$50.
When we lived in Detroit, and I was this is in 1965, and we were paying $103 for this apartment, but that was expensive for my mother. We were only staying there for a short time because we had just moved, and then we moved to Highland Park, and we were paying $67 a month.
Now, how many bedrooms did y'all have?
Two
bedrooms.
Two.
And this is in 60 what? Early 60s? So yeah, Kennedy was alive? Oh, you said
No,
65. No,
no,
Kennedy's gone. So
No, because 60. Because I helped with the paper route in '63 when he died. I lived there in '63.
Hold up, you had a paper route?
Friend of mine, Walter, had a paper route.
You worked on a paper route? I never knew that.
Yeah.
Like you threw the paper?
Yeah. In fact, so this is in.
That's cool.
This is in. When I moved to Highland Park. When I moved to Highland Park, it had to be about 66. So it was $67 a month. Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah, no, in '63, I was in Ferris Middle School. They let us out November 22nd. You know what happened November 22nd?
Early. Kennedy was killed.
And I helped my friend Walter and Raymond on their paper route. And it was big news,
I bet it was.
Kennedy was.
So you mean like break extra, read all about it, like that kind of thing?
Yes, and it was snowing. We were throwing it to different houses.
It was snow outside?
Oh man, it was snowing so bad. I had to leave them. I said I'm gone. I left them because it was just snowing so bad. That was November 22nd, 19.
Maybe if it had been snowing in Dallas, he wouldn't have got killed because they wouldn't have had the top down.
Right. Yeah.
Happens. Yeah. So, do you remember where you were when King when King was assassinated?
Why would you ask me that?
You do?
Yeah.
Where were you at? You can't say it. Okay.
I'm gonna say it.
I would get you in trouble. Statute of limitations ran out.
Jerome Fowler. I was in Detroit. Jerome
name
Fowler.
dropping?
Yeah, I'm name dropping. He liked this girl, and she didn't like. I told him he didn't like her, and she kept calling me.
She didn't like it. Oh.
No, so I was over her house. I was over her house.
Talking about him.
No, we were, I liked her too. She liked me, and so I told him that girl was completely out of your league. Yeah. And so I was over there, and wow, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So y'all, it didn't come across your news feed. So how did y'all know? How did y'all find out?
You have this was it 6 o'clock news?
Okay.
And
you go there late.
Yeah.
Wow, that was it. So were they? But it went down in Detroit though, didn't it?
Yeah.
It got real.
Yeah.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah, but that's not when we that's not when we had riot. He died in 68. Mm-hmm. We had our big riots in 67. Doing the riot in 67, and I was right there when the riot.
What caused those?
There's riots in 67.
Yeah.
There here again I shouldn't be saying, but it was late. It was the after hour place or after hour joint on Claremont and 12th. Right on the corner, on the left hand.
I've passed 12th before.
Yeah, on the right hand side of the street, and we were at the after hour club, after hour joint, and the police raided it, and you could just sense that something was going to happen because it was like July, but it was just so many people outside, and the police had made a barricade where people were coming out down the stairs into the paddy wagon, but there was so many people on the other side. You could just tell that something was going to happen.
There was tension in the air.
Yeah, it was tension in the air. And then when we got to the police station, it was just all out. That there was they were riding on 12th, and
where y'all just left from.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right. And so I don't think I was in the police station that long, and so we get rides back to on 12th Street because 12th Street was. That was the street. Where
so that was like Pennsylvania Avenue back in the day.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
So this was like, everything was happening. Man.
Exactly.
Is there equivalent to that now in this city?
No. They don't even have an equivalent to that in Detroit anymore.
Okay.
They tried to, they because we spread out.
But it used to. So every major city, black metropolitan city, had a street like that. Okay.
Yeah. Because Harlem had theirs. And Pennsylvania Avenue back in the 30s, 20s, 40s, 50s. It started to die. Those things started to die out when drugs became prevalent. In the 60s, in the 70s, 60s, especially the 60s, it started dissipating. But that's when the riot started. We went back there and they were They were right. It was a mess.
So what do we actually know what sparked it?
That
raid.
That raid. That raid.
Wow, that's amazing.
They were breaking in the jewelry store.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Claremont and 12th, 1967.
Wow. Okay.
Live from Detroit, Michigan. And I want to give a shout out to my friend of mine, Raymond, in Victory Outreach in Rockford, Illinois. And Raymond was there too with me. But they have a real good organization in Rockford helping people, alcoholics and drugs.
People substance abuse.
Substance abuse, getting back on their feet. So
that is good. That's a very noble project right there.
And then they responded to us last week, so they're listening to us. And so,
how's it going, y'all?
All right.
Definitely. Thank you as always.
Yes.
This was a very, very fun. All of them are fun.
Yeah.
But I like when we're able just to talk about topics. Of course, we're in election season.
Yeah.
So we have some more candidates that are going to be coming through. But we definitely have to have an episode where we can just talk about stuff.
And this is how we talk at home,
True.
Over dinner. We just start eating and laughing and talking about everything.
Oh my goodness. No, I can't. We got to talk about this. We got Adrian Broner. We got it.
Yeah.
First of all, I want to like Adrian Broner, okay, because he's hip hop. He's of my generation. And he has a certain kind of swag. I want to like him. But
let me tell you, if he was 36 and old, you would like him.
That's true. Because I would say he winning.
Right.
Everybody likes a winner.
Everybody likes a winner. Yeah.
Now, he only has 3 losses.
Yeah.
Now, technically, he has 3 losses. I think he has more than 3 losses. For instance, the fight that he just had, he lost. He lost that fight. Okay. I watched the. Did you watch the fight from beginning to end?
I saw it.
I saw the beginning and the end. He lost every round. I think he won. I'm going to be generous, and I'm going to say he won 4 rounds. Mm-hmm. But I'm one of those rounds. He really won 3. 1 round, it could have went either way. But what is it about him? I mean, they say that he has a good chin. They say that. I hear you. I don't know, but.
Well, they've already lined up his next fight.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the boy from England, Khan.
He's fighting Amir Khan?
Yeah, because Amir Khan fought Saturday too, and he knocked out.
I saw that.
He's knocked his man out in 39 seconds.
But they love him over there.
Khan?
Yeah. In England. Yeah. Is he fighting in England?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think
he should.
They haven't gotten the location.
If he fights in England, he's gonna make some money.
But yeah.
Can he beat Khan?
Yeah.
My God! If he beats Khan, he's gonna act like he's gonna say, "I shook up the world."
if he beats Khan, he gonna think he beat King Kong. I think he can though. I think he can.
It is not difficult to beat Broner. Mm-hmm. All you gotta do is jab him.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
But Amir Khan, I was watching that fight and then I turned from it.
What was it? I didn't know it was on.
Yeah.
On what? HBO?
No, it wasn't on HBO. Sky, one of those other things on there. Okay. I said, but it's Amir Khan. He's gonna lose. I turned from it. I turned from it. I didn't even. I was watching the undercard, and then when 9 o'clock came, I turned and I was watching that, and I watched my guy Tank.
Tank. Yeah, he did.
Tank looks good.
Real good.
And the brothers you talking about,
right?
They are wild. I was looking at some stuff.
Yeah, that's a wild brother.
I followed them on social media. They are crazy.
Yes.
They took a picture in front of the house, and they got all their belts on. So they just it's just with them. It's like they should have never gave you no money. And very well.
Yes.
But Adrian Broner, his comments after the fight. These are the things that it comes down to home training and stuff that you should say and shouldn't say. Now, Mayweather and Tyson all said outlandish things, but they put butts in the seats, and they were winners at the time. At the time, even Tyson had maybe one loss or two losses at the time when he started talking really, really crazy. But I mean, even go back to Mitch Green and different antics. He was a winner,
right, and then especially in his 20s.
Okay,
Tyson never didn't lose in his 20s.
Yeah.
I started losing. He started getting older.
Yeah,
this boy is 28. So.
Yeah, but he talks so much trash. I mean, and the stuff that he says is just.
And then he gets in trouble outside the ring too.
That's
and that makes it bad too.
That too. Yeah. So it's just. Do you see a title reign in Adrian Broner's future?
No.
Me either.
No.
Me either. To me, he's cruising for a bruising. It's gonna happen. He's going to be stumbling around the ring. Just, if Amir Khan does it, I'll be happy. But I just want him to buckle down. He just never seems to buckle down.
And get serious.
And get serious.
And even Tank is 23, and he's way more serious than that boy.
Yeah.
He's 23,
and you can still
he's serious.
And Tank parties and has fun, but it's just in the ring, he's dead serious.
Right. And then you know what the problem is with him and Mayweather. They got a problem, too, him and Mayweather and Tank. Because Mayweather wants him to move to Las Vegas. He wants to stay here in Baltimore.
He can't move to Las Vegas. See, because if he moves to Las Vegas, he's going to lose it.
You think so? Well, he said that
he don't want to do it.
No, he does. But that's the problem because he wants to stay in Baltimore, and even the last fight he had, he came over. He was overweight.
Right.
That's why he lost the belt. He
Right.
was overweight, even though he knocked the guy out.
Right.
But he said that's why he had to leave Baltimore for his training this time because he trained last time in Baltimore and he wasn't serious enough.
Okay, I see that.
But he don't. But he said I don't want to move. I'll train.
So he likes Vegas to visit, but he doesn't want to live there.
Right, and they didn't even train in Vegas. I'm not sure where they trained at. Him and Broner trained together. I forgot where they trained at. But,
really?
They trained together.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. I think he feels like he'll lose his edge if he leaves the city. Then all my friends are gone.
Right, I think he's just gonna be homesick because he said,
that's what I'm saying. That's
his mother,
and
his brother, and
then he'll end up losing.
Family. Yeah,
then he'll end up losing. He'll get closer to Mayweather though, staying out there. But I think that he has the city behind him, and we were talking about whether he could fill up the Baltimore arena in a fight or something like that. The city is behind him because he feels like one of them. If he leaves, if he moves and just comes back, it's going to feel different. And I think he knows that. And I think he feeds off. They won't be as behind him. They'll still be behind him, but it won't be the same intensity. Like I see people who are not into boxing like that talk about him. Just because this is one of Baltimore's, this is one of the thing about us though, we talk about with kickers. If a Ravens kicker misses that kick in a big game, they through with you. You know what I mean? And Baltimore, we fickle like that. If he loses once, they may let it, but if he loses 2 times, they may ditch him. I don't know.
It's like Wilder about Alabama. And that's he lets everybody know I'm Alabama.
Yeah,
I mean that's my town.
And he is
what is it? Tuscaloosa or whatever. Alabama.
Tuscaloosa.
Yeah. And then I noticed I was listening to some.
I like Tank though.
I was listening to some things, and they were interviewing Tank, and they were saying you're from DC. We know you want to play in DC, and they try to skin over Baltimore, give it some more clout. He said I'm Baltimore.
Yeah, they try to give it class.
Right.
They think no.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
This is.
Right.
What did you think of this town when you got here?
But I had been.
Well, you had family here, so you had.
I've been coming here.
Yeah.
And, it was a country town. They had gold teeth in their mouth.
Still do.
Right. But they don't have it as much as they used to.
Well, yeah, it was. So when you came, it was worse.
Yeah. Back when I used to
like
come,
a whole, they had a mouthful.
No, just that one.
Right. They don't do that too much.
Yeah, right.
The girls too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So hey.
All right.
So,
well,
hey, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being with my son.
I enjoyed just too.
Yeah.
Man. Definitely,
yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
So, of course, if you miss us live, you can also watch us on demand, RadioOnFire.com. And definitely download the brand new Radio on Fire app, which is available now for all Android devices. iPhone will be launching next month. You can watch us live in the studio on your cell phone, on your mobile device. Download it in the Google Play Store right now. And so we'll be back next week. And I do believe we have a guest next week, so I will keep you guys posted on that.
And next week, I promise, I'll remember what I forgot earlier to say.
Will you? Thanks, Dan.
All right. Probably tonight when I get in the bed, I said, "Oh, that's what it was." Yeah, I still ain't thought about it yet.